you sleepy? You were sleepy, huh? Yeah. 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 I know. So we're doing my attempt of a fade out. Ah! That was not a fade out. Yeah, I know. You guys can hear the dog. Give me 1 second to flip over because I don't have, things going on. Alright. So hello, everyone. And Disillusioned is right. They sense movement. They also sense Cheerios, which is why Puck is sitting oh so pretty. Aren't you, Puck? Puck, can you speak? Tinker's doing all the talking right now. Can you speak? Come on, speak. Come on. Tinker. Have a Cheerio, Tinker. Be quiet. Puck, speak. Come on. There you go. Have some Cheerios, dog. So, yeah. Hi. Welcome, everybody, to Daily Space for today. What is today? April 3rd, 2019. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, like, this week, but mostly tomorrow. But we have a lot of stuff. So thanks for joining me, and let's get right into it. I know, Tinkerbell. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm amused because Adam Altogether says my dog senses yours. Oh, my mic is hot. I know my... Oh, I see what you mean by my mic is hot. All right. Try a few other things. Da-da-da! Okay. Mic doesn't ever stay in like a consistent location. I forget to check it and I get loud. So yes, hello everybody. There's a gazillion things going on this week, and yeah, a lot of them are tomorrow. And where's the thing? There's the thing. All right, so let's get into it, right? So tomorrow, first up tomorrow, bright and early in the morning for those of us in the US, is Roscosmos resupply mission to the ISS. This is going to be Progress 72, also known as MS, that's Mike Sierra 11. Launch time is 11:01 UTC, that's 7:01 East Coast, and 4:01 West Coast. Those times are AM, not PM. I believe NASA coverage is going to start in around a quarter till the hour. So I think we're going to start at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, don't we sound excited? So yes, we will be streaming this one. This launch, this mission is going to be bringing mostly cargo, food, fuel, supplies to the ISS. I couldn't find anything exciting about space robots or any of that thing. So, but I did find it interesting that they're taking like 420 kilos of water. That's 210 2-liter bottles of water. So just wrapping my head around that. And yeah, as Kerbal points out, it is a 3-hour rendezvous, and we may or may not stream the rendezvous because there's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. But yeah, so that's mission number 1. This picture is just of Progress upright on the pad in Baikonur. I think by now I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, I think they're only going to orbit the Earth once or twice before the rendezvous. There's no humans on board, so they can go pretty fast. Also, because it's a Progress ship. Progress, by design, the Russians have kind of a specific naming scheme, because Progress and the Soyuz are essentially the same. They use the same rocket to launch, same rockets usually, and they're essentially the same spacecraft. Soyuz spacecraft carries people. Progress is always an uncrewed craft, so there are no space toilets. The number of space toilets in orbit is still 4. So even though there will be 3 spaceships or 3 craft attached to the ISS, there is still only 4 space toilets in orbit. Or there will still only be 4 space toilets in orbit. All right. Whew. So that's that launch. And we talked about Arianespace's launch last week because I guess it was originally supposed to be for the 29th. Well, it slipped. I don't know why it slipped. I quite honestly didn't have time to go and poke and see why it slipped. It may have been anything from like weather to things just not being ready. I don't know. But yeah, this one is planned for 16:30 UTC. That's 12:30, like as in noon 30 East Coast, and 9:30 a.m. West Coast. We will probably start streaming this one at least 30 minutes prior to launch, so look for us to be online by 1600 UTC, so that's about noon. Have some more Cheerios, dogs. I will be streaming this one myself, so we might be on a bit earlier. Arianespace typically starts their streams 20 minutes ahead of time, if I recall correctly. And it is launching, like we talked about last week, the 4 of the other 3 billion satellites. Other 3 billion stands for, well, other 3 billion. They abbreviate it as capital Oscar 3 lowercase bravo. And that stands for, or it really means to capture the other 3 billion people that don't have internet access. And I left out the fancy maps that showed the coverage and just have the satellites, because just the range of size of satellites that go up can just be mind-boggling. So here's the picture of 2 of the satellites that are going up. They provide low latency broadband to any area within 45 degrees north or south of the equator. So polar areas, sorry, you're out of luck. Yeah, you're just out of luck. And let's see, what's the other geeky info? This is, each satellite is 700 kilograms. That's 452 liter bottles. And they'll have an altitude of just over 8 kilometers, which is less than a quarter of the altitude of other geostationary satellites, which is how they reduce their latency. Whew. Okay, so that's thing number 2. Well, thing number 3, because I forget. Yeah, tomorrow it goes progress launch, progress rendezvous, this, as in the Arianespace launch, and then we're going to do daily space, and then after daily space tomorrow, not immediately after, but after daily space tomorrow, there's the RS, that's Romeo Sierra 25 engine test at... I know! Can you let me finish explaining it? No? Okay, have some Cheerios and be quiet. Alright, it's at 18:30 UTC, which is 2:30 p.m. East Coast and 11:30 a.m. West Coast. And yeah, we're also covering this one too. So the rocket that they're going to be testing, the Romeo Sierra 25, is made by Aerojet Rocketdyne, and it is a liquid fuel cryogenic rocket engine. That's a lot of words. That's just a fancy way of saying that both the fuel, or not both, but in general, this category of rocket engines, the fuel or the oxidizer or both are like super cool liquids. And that's just to kind of compress them and all that other things. So yeah, get things that would normally be gases like hydrogen and oxygen are cooled down to a temperature where they're liquids. So that's kind of cool. We see this already with the Ariane 5 and Delta 4. There's probably a couple other rocket engines, but I couldn't nail down what exactly like the Soyuz rockets use. This engine in particularly has been used since the space shuttle days, and like as in STS Flight 1, and is currently being tested for use on the Space Launch System, which is NASA's next generation of government funded how we're getting humans into space. So that's cool. Kerbal asked, when is the progress docking? I will get to that at the end of all of this, because I totally didn't have that in my notes. Yes, SLS. Space. It's the Space Launch System! Soyuz. You know, if you keep this up, you're going to be in my lap. Out. Lady Pembroke has donated 5 bits. Thank you, Lady Pembroke. Here's the Cheerios. Make it rain. I know you guys can't see them, but that will, you know, take her attention off of the wind outside. DPI says Soyuz uses RG1 and liquid oxygen for the first stage. So, and those are both liquids, so they do use the same category of engine, but not this very particular engine. So, and it's just weird because they don't have what, on Wikipedia, it doesn't list what engine goes with what rocket completely. And yeah, that's not gonna lie, I use that as a source. Alright, so the next thing is there's a spacewalk on Monday. Astronauts McLean from NASA and St. Jacques from Canadian Space Agency will have a 7-hour spacewalk. That's 7 hours, people. Oh my goodness. No breaks either. You can't just pop in and like take your suit off and, you know, chill out for 15 minutes. No, 7 hours doing this. They'll be starting at 12:05 UTC. That's 8:05 Eastern Time and 5:05 a.m. West Coast Time. Because it is 7 hours, I don't think we'll be streaming it. It's a really, really long time, and unfortunately I already have other things planned for Monday. So maybe like we'll stream them coming back in. I don't know. I make no promises. Anyways, there's an animation of what they'll be doing as soon as I can copy this link, and I'm putting it into chat, which it's not copying well. Of course it's not copying well. Thank you, Google. All right. Let's try that. Veronica says, please don't. I won't get up at 5 a.m. for that. That's fair. That's fair. It's like the tail end. Hey! The tail end seems better to capture of them coming back in, because that will probably be at a reasonable time for most people in the US. Sorry, Europe. Sorry, you know, most of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, but, yeah. Excuse me. They will be installing truss jumpers to provide a redundant power source to the Canada Arm to robotic arm. Wow, that was a really redundant sentence. Symphora says move to a different time zone. Problem solved. I mean, I'm not opposed to this. So anyway, that link I provided you is indeed an animation. We're going to watch a little bit of it. Not a whole lot of it. Because it is like, the animation's 5.5 minutes long. And I don't even know if I can get audio on this. I don't think I have audio. So, they do a pretty good job in this video of highlighting which astronaut is going to do what and what things that they're going to work on. And I'm sure there's narration for what's going on, but I apparently muted this, and because I resized it, I can't reach the unmute button. But they're covering a lot of ground on the ISS. And like I said, this is to put in a redundant power supply for the Canada arm, which is used for lots of things. Fenring says that poor astronaut is getting electrocuted. I mean, let's try not to think about that too hard. Hey! Boss Lady subscribed! Here's some Cheerios. Puck, speak! Come on, speak! 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 They're not on camera, they have to hear you. And make it rain! So yeah, they're just highlighting different things. So I'm gonna pause this here. I've shared the link if you want to view it. I think it's pretty cool. But it's, again, it's 5.5 minutes. I don't have any audio, so yeah. Okay, finally, for things that are happening, which, remember, these aren't all the things that are going to happen, but finally in space, you know, related walking news. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 20 plus 4 midnight on Tuesday the 9th, is the annual Astronaut Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This year's inductees are James F. Bouchley. I am so sorry if I slaughtered that. And Dr. Janet Cavandy. Inductees must have made their first flight at least 17 years before induction and orbited the Earth at least once. So a little bit about these people, which sorry, my phone's going off. I didn't do a whole lot. I am going to copy paste the links to their bios so you can read the whole bios themselves, because the bios are pretty. So yeah, there we have the 2 inductees for this year. And James, I'm not going to try to slaughter his last name again, is known in the astronaut community for his pioneering in extravehicular activity protocols and working with multiple customers involved with highly classified payloads. I think he also did a few things where there weren't protocols. Well, I guess that's what pioneering means. But like there weren't already established protocols, and he literally started to establish some of those protocols for working outside of a craft. And RefsMatt is helping me out and throwing me a line and saying, Bouchley. Alright, so James Bouchley did some really cool stuff outside of spacecraft and set up protocols for that. So, awesome. Good for him. So, Dr. Cavandy is most well known in the astronaut community for her leadership of the astronaut corps and flight crew operations, and for her service to the surviving family members of the Columbia accident. And she's actually worked kind of as administration to NASA after she was an astronaut. So that's kind of cool. All right, more Cheerios because you're starting to bark. So yeah, those are the inductees. And we'll probably stream that too. There's a lot going on. All right. So now is a good time to answer questions, or not answer questions. And now's a good time to ask questions. Please at me so I can see them, as I'm trying to force things to happen. And RefsMatt says, that's how I've heard it pronounced anyways. Well, that beats my pronunciation of it. Oof, 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 oof. Kerbal is asking me for... Hey! Are you ready for some bits, dogs? Puck, speak. Come on, speak. All right. Thank you, Ed. Hear the Cheerios and make it rain! And another handful for all the things that, you know, happened when they weren't on camera. Make it rain! All right, so I'm going to look up the progress docking time. And now the cat is crying. That is not a baby. That is a cat. NASA TV schedule, because the place I go for that doesn't have that listed. So docking tomorrow, oh my goodness, tomorrow is coverage begins at 9:45 a.m. Docking itself is scheduled for 10:25 a.m. These times are Eastern. So 9 plus 4 is 13. Hey! Thanks for the follow. Here's the Cheerios and make it rain! So that's 13:45 UTC that coverage will begin. And then actual docking will be a little more than a half hour after that. So a little more after that. And there's also Hayabusa supposed to be, you know, launching a thing at the thing. I guess, what have I seen it called? A depth charge? To create a crater in the bombing. Yes, Hayabusa is to bomb an asteroid to create a crater. It's an anti-tank explosive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. I am out of 10-meter crater? Okay, for those USAians, that's 10 yards, more or less. Side to side crater. Just that's a lot. That's huge. That's huge. I can't remember how much material that they're trying to collect. DPI says, that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, Disillusioned asks, do the dogs prefer Honey Nut or regular Cheerios? They get regular Cheerios. I don't give them Honey Nut because that has more calories, and Cheerios are a wonderful low-calorie dog treat. So I feel a lot more comfortable tossing the regular Cheerios at them. DPI says, those Japanese don't mess around, do they? No. No, they don't. No, they don't. How far... Veronica asks... Somebody's asking a question. It's okay. Veronica asks, how far away is that asteroid? Maybe Starstrider knows that answer? Because I don't remember that answer. I used to know that answer. I'm looking for any kind of information I had pulled up, and I am failing. Shh, I know. Okay. Oh, there's more bits, and our thing's empty, which means we have to break out the box. Far enough to be safe from the bomb. Yeah, this isn't going to be like India blowing up one of their own astronauts. To be clear, India has never blown up one of their own astronauts. They blew up one of their own satellites. So this isn't going to be like that. We're at no risk of the debris hitting anything. And this is definitely not, you know, this is definitely for science. Because we want, you know, stuff from the asteroid. Okay, that is the last of that bag of Cheerios. Alright. Here's the Cheerios. Puck, speak. Come on, speak. Oh, you're both gonna talk. And make it rain! Yeah, blowing up astronauts is definitely a bad thing. So they were set to blow up the asteroid at 11:36 Japan time, which, let me convert that to UTC, which I should have done from the jump. That's 2:36 a.m. on Friday, April 5th UTC. But for those of us on the East Coast, that's 10:36 Thursday. And for those of you on the West Coast, that's 7:36. So, yeah, yeah, that's a lot. DPI, I found out the distance, and Raigu is 180 million miles from Earth. Which, that's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Larry asks, has Russia blown up a satellite? Yes. Russia's blown up a satellite. US has blown up a satellite. I think China's blown up a satellite. So this is really, you know, just kind of gearing up to, hey, we have this capability too, but the timing was poor. And yes, Star Strider says tomorrow night, because everything is tomorrow. I know, everything is tomorrow, and we will get through this. We will get through this together. By the way, no new asteroids have been given names by the IAU Minor Planet Center since October. Okay. Almost 2 AU. Thank you, Larry Weird and Proud. Yes, yes, that distance makes more sense. AU stands for astronomical unit. That is roughly the distance from the Earth to the Sun. So yeah, it's 2 Earth-Sun lengths away from us, which is nice and far away, where it needs to be. Okay. Last call for questions. And I see something about Tygon 2. Does that have a toilet? And I can't remember what that is. So while I do that, we are a part of... Oh my goodness, I forgot it. Planetary Science. Hey! I will get this right one day. We are part of Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona. Working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in, oh my goodness, is it sunny today, Youngstown, Ohio. More bits for the doggos, and make it rain. We are brought to you by you. So yes, thank you for all of your donations, bits, subs, merch purchases. Hey, more bits. More bits. And make it rain. If you can't afford to do any of that, that's okay. Come chat with us. Follows are free. Join our Discord. You know, these are ways you can support us too. Tell your friends about us. Let's see. I will get better at this one day, I promise, guys. YouTube. Alright, so yeah, if you ever miss a broadcast, a stream, whatever you want to call it, we archive everything on YouTube, or we try to archive almost everything on YouTube. So you miss a stream here, it'll be on YouTube within a day or so, and if you're watching this on YouTube, come join us for our live streams. It's fun. There's a lot of interaction. You can watch me throw Cheerios at the dogs in real time. It's a lot of fun. So we normally stream Sunday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Fridays is Daily Space. You know, your kind of almost daily astronomy news update day thing. And Sundays is me colorizing data from, you know, the Hubble Space Telescope right now. And I think that's everything. So I'm gonna scroll up and look for questions. Somebody said something about Tygon 2? Tygon 2? So I'm gonna quickly Google that. It's a space laboratory. Oh shoot, you wanna know what? You're right. There is a toilet on that. There are currently 5. I'm sorry, there are 5 toilets in orbit. Because I think it's still... Yeah, it's still up there. I don't think it's currently occupied, but it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. So yeah, I'm sorry. There are 5 space toilets in orbit right now. And there won't be another space toilet for a little while. Disillusion says, I hope they flip the unoccupied switch on the toilet concern. I don't know. China uses a lot of Soviet Russian technology for their space program. So I imagine it's close to some of the Russian space toilets, which I'm trying to think. I think right now all of the toilets in orbit are Russian? Maybe not. I think all the toilets that are in orbit are Russian. Like, the US owns one of them on the space station, but it is totally a Russian design. And the Soyuz toilets are a totally different design than what's on the space station. But yeah, the toilets on the space station are both of Russian design. The US just happens to own one, which we've paid good money for that. Let's see, any other questions? When is the marathon again? Oh my, the marathon. Oof. April 27th is the marathon, and that will be mostly Pamela's doing, which, yeah, I think she's going for 10 hours? Yeah, 10 hours with me. And Ivya and 365 days of astronomy people. So yeah, 10 hours, guys. That's a lot. We've done marathon streams. This is one of our shorter marathon streams, but yeah. All right, so here's some Cheerios because Walker is awesome. And Puck, speak. Come on, speak. All right, make it rain. Even though Walker has heard Tinker and Puck bark on many occasions, just hardly not on command. All right, scroll up. I think we answered everything. Yep, looks like I answered everything. Hooray! Back to you, or bark back to you, Puck. That's adorable, Walker. I think that's everything. I'm not seeing any other questions. So I'm going to awkwardly roll the credits and try to find somebody to raid, which, you know, that's kind of tricky. If you have any suggestions for people to raid, please tell us. Because I'm going to do that now before I run credits, because I want to be ready just to hit raid. And I had one. Normally we look at the Knowledge Fellowship and pick somebody to raid from there. Let's see if this person's still raiding or still streaming. Oh no, they're done for the day. Oh no. All right. Well, it looks like EJ is still streaming, so check see if you guys suggested anything. And nobody suggested anything, so I guess we're gonna raid EJ. And looks like he's doing something. Alright, so, oh no. Yeah, we've had Adam. Oh no, I forgot to run the credits. Alright, so I'm gonna run the credits and then we'll do the raid. I'm not awkward at this, not at all. Alright, so yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in and being awesome and all the things, and I will see you tomorrow for all the things. Bye!